Okay, 10 seconds in, that's my usual start time. So, I did not stream on Thursday because Thursday I had. There's a special event going on in Star Wars, The Old Republic, and I have to be on my main server to take part in it because I'm trying to get a particular item from that event. So, didn't stream last week. This week, I'm going to continue the blanket square. I'm just sending out my Twitch announcements going, hey, by the way, I'm streaming to various channels. Once I've got those posted, I will, in September, be participating in a friend's birthday Twitch streamathon that is to benefit Extra Life. I believe he supports the Children's Hospital of Norton, I think. But it's his birthday event, and I will be streaming along with him playing. I think we're going to be playing Goose Goose Duck. So that's something to look forward to in the month of September. Right now, things are a little up in the air for me because I have just been given the news that I've been laid off from my job, or as they're putting it, workforce reduced. Basically, all of my desks positions are being shipped overseas to a place where they can pay for 7 people for the same price that they pay for one person in the U.S. Customers at that particular job are not going to be happy, given that they've been complaining about this other site for quite some time. But, well, the management is shooting themselves in the foot here, but they don't want to listen to the lowly peons who know nothing. So, okay. We are continuing the blanket square. I had the wonderful discovery. I got 7 inches into what was to be a 8x8 inch square, and I measured to see, okay, how many inches have I gotten? Only to discover that, oh crud, it's supposed to be 8x8, it's currently 7x9. So all of that work that I'd been doing last week has had to be ripped out and restarted. Thankfully, I'm a good ways into it now, so we're going to pick up from where I am. I was hoping I would be showing you, how to attach the flowers and how to make the flowers today, but we might just be working on making the item. So, let me go ahead, pop over to here. I'm still trying to figure out the best, I think, hold on. I don't have quite the leeway I used to. Let's try. Sorry, I thought I had this down to the proper placement, but apparently not. Okay. So, when I went back and redid it, I went from 40 stitches per row to 35. So that's where we're at now, is the 35 stitches per row. I also have got my top surgery scheduled, and they finally gave me a call back earlier this week, or last week I guess it would be, saying, hey, turns out that we now have an opening for you in November. So my top surgery date is now November 22nd. I will have to fly out to California for it. My pre-op visit is on the 18th, so I'll be flying out on the 17th. And then my post-op is on the 29th, so I will be flying back home on the 30th. So, a friend of mine is kind enough to let me stay with them. They'll be out of town for part of that, but they're going to just let me stay at their place. And given that I'm going to be recovering from surgery, I probably won't really need to do or go anywhere, so I'll just kind of be resting, taking it easy. In the coming few weeks, because of course this couldn't have come at a worse time, well, the being laid off couldn't have. My boss, I had banked a whole bunch of sick time for the year. I'd been very careful not to use it, and I had a little over a week already saved. Well, since I'm losing my job, I'm going to be losing that sick time as well. So my boss basically said, okay, so here's what we're going to do. You're going to take all that sick time that you've got saved up over the next 2 weeks, because my last day at the job is the 20th of August. So over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to use up all of that saved sick time. And then I'm also going to have 2 weeks of severance pay, and after that 2 weeks is up, if I haven't already found a job, I'll go ahead and go on unemployment. I don't want to go on unemployment. I like working. I know that, we shouldn't tie our self-worth to our production, but it's kind of an intrinsic tie-in for me. I spent a very long time after my sons were born incapable of working due to severe mental health issues. So you're getting this weird... Sorry. But due to those severe mental health issues, I wasn't able to work, and it really did a number on my self-worth. And so getting back into the workforce was a huge boon in terms of my self-worth. And so I recognize that not having a job, not doing things that are productive, whether that be volunteer work or, paid labor, is not good for my mental health. What I'm planning for right now is a revamp of my Etsy shop. So get new items posted for sale, and find and put together my light box, get new photos of things, items that have already been made and are still available in the shop. We'll get a photograph done, a new photograph, a better photograph, because all of the photos thus far have been with my phone camera and then edited in editors to brighten the colors and get rid of background things. I'm trying as much as possible to ensure that colors are true to life in the shop. That can be tricky for me because I am partially colorblind. But mostly I'm wanting to make certain that everything is photographed properly, everything has a good size gauge available so people can see, okay, this is X number of inches by X number of inches. And then I'm also going to weigh things because since I do ship internationally, I need to be able to weigh items to make certain that they match up to what the shipping cost should be. Because Etsy does estimate shipping costs for you and charges them to the customer which I very much appreciate because it means I don't have to deal. There's got to be a better way to do this. It means I don't have to deal with things like figuring out VAT for shipment to England, or, figuring out, okay, how much is this going to cost to ship to New Zealand, because I've made sales to people in New Zealand before. I'm also going to have to go through and figure out, okay, what do I still have? What do I plan to make more of? I mean, the Cuddle Wish are going to be a staple. They're not leaving my list of available things. A lot of the items have, information that is outdated, such as, hey, this is made in response to the Pulse shooting, because I've got several LGBT themed things that I was donating a portion of any sale to the Pulse victims, but there are now other organizations that that I think could use the support more at the moment. So it's going to be a big revamp of the shop, and since I'm going to have 2 weeks without being able to work, I'd like to use that time to do that. My boss is specifically trying to find me internal jobs with the company, and he specifically said to not start at any of those internal jobs if I find one until September 6th, which will be 2 weeks after my last day with the company currently, because they'll pay me the 2 weeks of severance pay. However, if I start an internal job and it's less than that 2 weeks, then they will make me pay back any severance pay for days when I was not, once again employed by the company, which seems kind of a jerk move, but oh well, it's corporate America. As it was, they're not paying out any banked sick or vacation days, which again, corporate America. But, it is what it is. I'm not too worried about finding a new job. I'm good at what I do. My boss is passing my resume around to other internal managers, because as it was, they've been slowly getting rid of agents, which is why my work has been so crazy lately. Is they've been getting rid of agents, moving people off the desk as they move more and more to the overseas, and then they've got the same number of people, it's just those other people are on a overseas desk. However, a lot of the people at the overseas desks are making a lot of mistakes because they're not getting, the same training experience that I was given. Well, I hope they were given a better training experience than I was given. Mine was, here's the manual, here, listen to this guy take calls for 2 days. Okay, you're good, start taking calls. However, even when that happened, I had already been working on tech support, doing a lot of the same things for a very long time at the previous position before they moved me over to this desk. So it wasn't like it was a huge change for me. If everything goes well, I'll have just the 2 week interruption in work, and that's it, and that with severance pay. If it doesn't, or say they offer me positions but they all pay a lot less than I'm currently making, then I can go work for the same company my spouse works for, and make more than I'm making currently, plus commission on top of that. I don't want to do that, but okay, so I need to measure, and I forgot to bring my measuring tape over, so I'm going to switch to the be right back. You guys get to listen to me muttering as I walk around, and I will return in a few, hopefully, with a measuring tape and also something to drink, because I completely forgot to bring my drink over, which is awful because I need liquid, because I'm talking for an hour-ish straight. You should be watching my screen here. Measuring tape, measuring tape, measuring tape. My measuring tape is not where I thought it was, so trying to find it. It's taking a little longer than anticipated. Let's see. I think that I was attempting to be smart and put it in the little bag where I've got all my yarn, since this job needs me to measure things. However, I'm not finding it in said bag. So what on earth did I do with it? This, just so y'all know, is a constant issue with me. I regularly put some things down, forget where I put them, and then can't find them again. I think that's an issue for just about everyone with ADHD. But that doesn't change the fact it's really annoying when it happens. Okay, so... It is supposed to be 8 inches by 8 inches, which according to what I've been told is 40 millimeters-ish. However, references, project guide, yes. Okay, so... Just lost my, okay. Put that back over here. Give myself a little more. Okay. Supposedly that's 8 inches. Okay. Wrong one. There we go. Okay, so I switched sides of the couch. So I've got this little reference book, which I don't know how well you guys can see it, but according to it, this is 46 millimeters, because it has this handy dandy swatch thing that lets you judge. So I'm at 34 here. I need to get to right about here on the book. So, okay. Tells me where I am and how far I have yet to go. I love this little thing. It is Very cute. And it will be used primarily next year because it is a day-to-day, month-to-month thingy. But right now, it's my size measure thing, because for the life of me, I cannot find what I did with my... covered in cat hair. Sorry. Okay. Let's get back to work. Well, that's not going to show you anything now, is it? There we go. Okay. I did swatch which side of the couch I'm sitting on because she, who is a butt, finally decided to move off of the arm. And yes, I could just pick her up and move her, but no, I'm not going to do that because she just comes right back. Because she is convinced that she must lay on the people at all times, forever. I would prefer she not do that. However, my partner tends to encourage that behavior because he likes being lain on by kitties. So, not really much I can do about it because she has at least figured out that if I tell her no, then she needs to just take a break and come back later when I am less cranky about being lain on. Okay. Other things in the world of Mason. Let's see. I did make a pretty impressive sale on Etsy this week, and I got that mailed off. It was thankfully for pre-crafted items, nothing custom, because the custom things I am having to revamp the amount of time it takes for me to complete those. Originally it was set to 2 weeks. However, with my having been working as much as I am, having switched off the night shift to a much busier shift, it means that I am not as able to, crochet between calls, things like that, and therefore I don't get to quite have the time to work on commissions, so I can only work on them after work or on the weekends. And weekends tend to be extremely busy for me because I'm doing all of the things that I didn't get to do during the week. Evening or after work tends to be pretty packed too, because all of the things that didn't get done during the day because I was working then have to be done. And while yes, my roommate does handle things like dishes and the lawn, and my kids do their own dishes, and my partner and kids mostly handle laundry for me, there's still cleaning up after my partner, who always leaves detritus wherever he goes, and just doesn't notice that it's there. So it's not a case of willfully leaving a mess as so much as just doesn't notice the mess at all. So basically there's things that must be done and have consequences of not having them done, but they inevitably end up on my shoulders to do. Dadgummit. Trying to find the right spot to hold this so that it's primarily what you see on camera. However, the camera keeps moving because my shoulder is moving, and I really wish my gooseneck clamp that holds the camera was longer, because I would just crane it around. But the lights are what's long on this, and the clamp is much closer to the work surface And with crochet, it being close... Hold on. I have a knot. Because of course I do. I wrapped this in a nice tight little ball when I first took the thing apart. However, it has decided that it wants to felt itself, even though it's superwash and should not be capable of felting, but such is life. So it keeps trying to felt and tangle with itself, which makes it where I keep having to do things like this to untangle. I'm gonna have to get up. Okay, hold on. You guys get to see a different part of the process, which is wrapping it back up around the core that it was made from. And I might, when I'm done with this part, get out my yarn bowl, which is not a big yarn bowl, it's not a fancy yarn bowl. I bought it for like $5, I want to say, at Tuesday morning. It was on the clearance, because of course I shop clearance. Clearance sales are amazing. I did find some really cool stuff at home, not yesterday, but the Saturday before that. I went there because I heard that, oh hey, they have their Halloween skeleton decorations, and I got a unicorn skeleton and a T-Rex skeleton and a dragon skeleton. And of course I am very happy because I now have more skeletons. One of the things that I'm planning as we get closer to holidays is I plan to do a stream where I make outfits for some of my skeletons, or maybe a couple streams for that. I'm wanting to do like Santa hats for some of them. Try to get them in a festive appearance. Of course, one already has their Grim Reaper outfit. That one is the cat skeleton, who I call the Grim Sleeper, after the Death of Cats from the Discworld series. And again, this blanket square I am making is for a friend of mine from my Knit and Crochet Guild online. It is a Discworld themed Knit and Crochet Guild, and so this blanket square I'm working on right now will be based on Two Flower, who is one of the characters from that series, and I am reaching a point where I'm going to have to consider alternative methods. I'm sure this is very fascinating viewing. In fact, let me switch to this one so you guys can just see me as I'm working on this. I'm literally just winding it up around the good to know that's still happening. Winding it up around the skein that was left over already. Ultimate goal, of course, being to get it back to a usable state. Though what I might end up doing is I might end up getting annoyed enough to just say nope and work on... In fact, you know what? That's what we're going to do. Hold on. So, hold on a moment. I need... Okay, so we're going to take a charm off of my charm bracelet, which the only reason I'm not wearing it at the moment is because this yarn is really cranky and likes to tangle around itself. We're going to use the skull charm. Actually, no, we're not going to use the skull charm. we're going to use, it's for 2 flower, so we're going to use the teapot that has flowers all over it. There we go. Okay, so now that loop is not coming undone, which means I can just put all of this in a neat, tidy little package. I'm going to go to Be Right Back again. Again, I'm sure you're loving this, how often I'm doing this today, but I'm going to go grab my other yarn, and we're going to make the flowers for this instead. Or, no, I don't have the pattern for that one completed yet. Okay. So we're going to make the flowers for 2 flower, because that'll let me show off some of my design process, I guess is what I would call it. Because, you know, I'm not doing a pattern for this. I'm coming up with what I'm doing off the cuff. Let's do the Haze Heather flowers. Okay. Let's get this put over here for right now. And zip that up. I did find out that the friend, well, the husband that we are making this for, the husband of the friend we're making this for, is allergic to cats. So, whoops, wrong one. Let's put it back here. And that particular friend's husband is allergic to cats, and therefore we, all of us who are working on this, are trying to do what we can to ensure that cat fur does not get on our yarn. That's not always an easy prospect, given that, you know, most of us are animal lovers, have cats, have pets. Okay, so now that I've got all of that rearranged, and I think my camera is set up in the right place, we'll see. Let's go ahead, swap back over, there we go. Okay, so this is the color we'll be using for one of the 2 flowers. This is Wool of the Andes worsted weight in Haze Heather. I do love working with yarns from Knit Picks. Wool of the Andes is a very, very beautiful yarn. It's not the softest, but that's because it is wool. You can get very, very soft wools, but generally to do that you have to use like alpaca or the softest wool I've ever worked with personally was Angora, which is rabbit. It's from a very particular breed of rabbit that has very, very long hair, and it's wonderful to work with. Don't even know. No. You're not getting up here to me. Not right now. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to make flowers. Now, the way I'm planning to do this is I'm going to make a magic loop. We're going to crochet around that loop, and then we're going to do funny things with the stitches to make the actual bits. So, just like we did with the plushie, we wrap it around 2 fingers, leaving a bit of a tail. go under, catch it with our hook, and pull out. Then over, catch it again on our hook, and that is the first stitch of the magic loop. Now, we go, this is the first proper stitch. Okay, that was just our starting stitch, but there, we pull that through. Now, this is another flower, so we're going to use this cactus key. Let's see, we're gonna do, so I'm wanting to do a bobble in the middle, so we'll see if I can't pull that off. Okay, that's stitch 2. So let me put this hook in stitch 1. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, you guys normally see me do a 8, 9, and 10. You guys normally see me do 6 when I'm starting a magic loop, but this time we're going to do 10, and the reason we're doing 10 is I want a larger center than I normally work with, okay? So, this gives us 10 to start. Alright, undo this one. There. Okay, now, this is where things are going to get interesting, because I want it to have points on the flower, and I'm going to do that with a very particular method. Okay, now there's 10. I want it to have 5 points, so it's going to be, okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and 1, 2. Okay, we're going to increase up to 15 because that's what I want to work with. So there we go. Now 1, 2, not increasing on this next one. 3, it's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then 13, 14, and 15. So 14. Now what I'm going to be doing is very much a proof of concept. I've never tried this particular idea before. We're going to have to see if it works. So I wish there were a better way to. That's the problem with this camera angle. I need to find a way to have it be like this, but that I have a camera I could do that with. It's a GoPro equivalent. I just haven't gotten it set up with this computer yet. maybe that's what I'll need to do next week, is get that set up for the next time. Okay. Time for trying the concept out. So we're actually going to put a loop over, because this one is going to be what is called a half double. Okay, so there's one. Next one is going to be a loop over, and then this is going to be a double crochet. So pull through one, now over, and 1, 2, over, 1, 2. And then next one is again a half double. Half double is basically a double crochet, except you pull through all 3 loops at once. You don't. There. Okay, so that was half double, double crochet, half double. Now, half double again. So 1, 2, 3. Then over, double crochet again. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. So right now it's just going to be kind of very barely visible points. That's going to change as I do our next round. 1, 2, 3. 1. Quit trying to bring that extra. Wait. This was supposed to be a... Okay. 2. 1, 2. So 1. Okay. Half double, double. Half double, half double, double. Half double, half double, double. Half double. Okay. Messed up somewhere. Okay, hold on. I done messed up. And I don't know where, so we're just gonna pull out the whole thing. Okay, so there's our half double we've already got. So double. Now we're going to end up with a kind of a lumpy flower, because it's going to be kind of wavy, because we're not increasing when normally for every round you want to increase, unless you want to create a tube. We're not creating a tube, but I'm going to be doing something with that lumpy texture on purpose. So, okay, half double, double, half double, half double, double, half double, half double, double, half double, half double, double. The word double is going to be meaningless by the time we're done. Half double. Half double. Double. And half double. Okay. Now, we're actually going to pull the hole a little tighter here. Okay, so now we have our little bowl-shaped flower because we've been doing the lack of increases. Alright. This is where it's going to get fun. Because now we're going to do a double and then so this one I haven't shown you guys yet, but we're looping over twice, and this one is going to be a treble. So 1, 2, and 3. Now, we're going to do another double. 1, 2. Okay. Now another double. 1, 2. 1, 2. Actually, that's not turning out the way I want it to, so backing up and gonna pull that one out. Now, there's our half double that we started. So how do I want to do this to make that? I've got 15 stitches. I've been working with every 3. I think I'm going to actually need to make it 3 points instead of 5 like I'd planned. But here's how we're going to do it. Because I want those points to be defined. So we're going to do a half double. Now we're going to do that double. And now we're going to do the treble. So, less points than anticipated, but they're going to stand out much better. Double again. Then our half double. Nope, that's not giving me what I want either. Okay. Oh. I just realized how to do this. Okay. So, we did our half double, which is fine. We can still work with it. And then we're gonna chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what I'm going to do is we're going to work in these back loops. And first one is just a single crochet. Second one is going to be a half double, which a half double into a chain is kind of a pain because you basically have to pick and pull each separate piece off. Then you do a double, then one, two, one, two, one, two. Okay, so that gives us a treble. Now we're going to skip a stitch. That gives us a point. And it leaves us an open stitch we can use later. I do realize that I needed to do this as a half double though. So, back up, loop one, skip, switch, and half double. Okay. It's not going to be quite as pretty as I hoped, but it's feasible. And again, as I said, this is more a proof of concept working on this flower. If I find something I like better, great. But for right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Swing around. No. Gotta get all of those bits. Single. Half double. Get back here. Told you. Crocheting a half double into a chain is awful. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do it this way. Not the recommended way to do it, but whatever works in this case. So now we're going to do the double. And our treble. And skip to there. Forgot to make that a half double. There we go. That's point 2. Okay. Hold on, getting a drink. I do apologize for being so quiet while I'm focusing on this particular pattern. Okay. But I think it's all going to work out. just going to take some effort to pull it off in the way I want it. 2, 3, 4, 5. The yarn was trying to escape. Okay, switch that around. Come on. One. Half double. Two. And 3. Okay. Here's our treble, or double. 1, 2, 2, and the treble. I swear, I don't know why, but it actually gets easier the more loops you're working with. And skip, and here. So that's 3. Half double again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. But yeah, I'm not hugely worried about the loss of a job. I've got a plan in place. My partner's a bit freaked, but that's because my partner gets freaked out by everything unexpected. We'll be okay. It's just the timing really sucks. That's all. But that's life, you know. You just kind of have to roll with things as they happen, figure out a way to keep going, and trust in your own skills and capabilities. Which, thankfully, I am very good at trusting in my own skills and capabilities. So this is our double. I think. Nope, that should have been the treble. Okay. There we go. I don't know. I just know I'm a good hard worker. I know that my boss is actually very upset about losing me as an employee, and he's going to hype me up a lot to the other managers, which the word of a previous boss definitely carries a lot of weight among management. Especially if that previous boss is like, no, this person is an excellent worker, they're going to do, anything you need them to do, and they're going to do it quickly and efficiently. That will get you a lot of notice from supervisors. So, because nobody wants the employee that's going to make things harder for them. I'm very big on the do no harm but take no shit, and probably I take a lot more shit than I should from multiple sources in my life, but I also believe that if you're given a job, you need to do it, and you need to do it right. And so yeah, I probably do let bosses kind of walk all over me sometimes, but it's because I'm much more focused on getting the work done and getting it done the way it needs to be done than I am on, as this boss, using me more than I should be letting them. Some of my friends think that I should go to work for my partner's company because my partner's company does have a union. Which, of course, I am very pro-union. Unions are excellent. They have saved my partner's bacon more than once, such as when the corporation actually tried to let my partner go after my partner had to miss work due to being in the hospital for kidney stones, had to have surgery to have those removed. The corporation, of course, was not happy to have my partner gone from work for so long and tried to let my partner go. The union basically saved my partner's job. So, I don't know, there's definitely benefits to the idea of having a union. I've gotten very used to having customers who view me as a coworker, or callers who view me as a coworker, as opposed to random corporate surf, 001. And the idea of going back to being treated as random corporate surf 001 is something I really don't like the idea of. At the same time, as my partner points out, I can befriend a rock, and while the caller may call in screaming and frustrated and angry, the likelihood that I will manage to get them to calm down and do what I need them to do, or listen to what I need them to hear me say, is very high. Just because that's the kind of thing that I really excel at doing. So there's merits to that, especially since I would be earning commission based on, if I can get people to not cancel their account. We're just going around these points, by the way, with single crochet, and then I'm going to take a look and see what we need to do to get them the size I need them to be. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. That didn't go through both. There we go. 6. 7. 'We're actually going to do an increase here. 8. Just because I don't want it curling up on us. There we go. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 'Oh goody, I'm getting yarn barf. There we go. 16. Oops. Let's try that again. 16. There we go. 17. 18. 19. 20. This yarn is not supposed to be able to felt, and yet it insists on doing so. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. Come on, yeah. Got it. 30. 'Oh look, a knot. Thankfully, this one looks to be an easy one to get rid of. Pluck, pluck, pluck. There we go. So that was on stitch 30. So 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. Una estrella. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 45. This is the hard part, is getting under both edges there of this thing. So there's 41. Now this one gets our 2. So 42 and 43. Okay. Then 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50, 51, 52. Split. 53. 54. And yes, I'm making all sorts of mistakes with this particular one. It's not being very well behaved. 55. 56. 57. Okay. So we got 57. We're going to do one more time around. And then we're going to turn this from a star into a flower. So, Lego. Now we're going to be doing a slightly different stitch here. Instead of being a single crochet like we've been doing, we're going to be doing what's called a slip stitch, which means you go in and then you pull right through. You don't yarn over at any point. There's a reason I'm doing this, and that is because it's going to help me with giving definition to these other to the petals. So single or not even a single crochet, slip stitch right there, then again slip stitch. Now we're going to do, okay, so 2 slip stitches, then we're going to do a half double, another half double, now a single, we're going to increase here again, but instead of doing 1, we're going to do, or 1 increase, we're going to increase it by 2, giving us 3 stitches right there. Okay, that makes it stand up a bit more. Now, going to single again, and then let's see, we did slip, slip, single, no, half double, single, single, then 1, 2, 3. So single, single, half double, now slip stitch, and repeat. Hope you guys don't mind seeing my messy living room. This is just the most comfortable way that I can sit at the moment. I've got certain joints that are being kind of jerks. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, now single, single. And then increase by 3 here. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 1, 2. You can use these special stitches like half double, treble, double to give definition to the shapes that you're making. And that's what I'm doing here, is I'm using them to give definition to these petals so that they have more oomph to them, more life, more, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, and the depth is the best word I'm coming up with, so. Nope, we're going to have to back up. Okay. Because I just came across where I made too many of something. Okay, so this is a half double. Okay. So this is one of my half doubles. We're going to do another half double. Now, we're going to do slip stitches, but this time we're going to do 3 instead of... Actually, we're doing 2, but we're slip stitching 2 of those together. Now we're starting at the same point. So, half double, half double, single, single. Okay. So 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so single, single, and then 2 half doubles. Basically, I'm trying to fix all of the mistakes I made during the actual creation of these petals by going through and making certain they each have the exact same number of stitches to a petal, and that they all have the same basic shape, and trying to make it so they all have the same number of stitches between them. But that's harder than it sounds sometimes. So 1, 2. Now, it'll be half double, single, single. Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so once I've finished this time around, I'm going to show you how to use sewing techniques to turn this into a flower as opposed to a star. And we're going to be making use of this tail right here to do it. I probably will need to pop y'all onto the... be right back, because I have to go get my needle. And I will be needing it for this, so if I can remember to grab my needle threader, that'll be great. This will be a yarn needle. They are bigger than the kind you would use for sewing, because they have to have yarn go through them. They're also fairly blunt. They're not sharp in the least, because generally they're going through the open weave space inside of stitches, which means they don't need to be sharp to actually go in. Okay, so no. Screwed that up somehow. Okay, so there. Half double. Yeah. Okay, so that. Okay. Half double, single, single. Right. 3 stitches into this one. 1, 2, 3. Then single, single, half double, and we'll see how many stitches we need to get back to the starting stitch. So One. That's it. Okay. So we only had that one where we had to repair what we'd done, which is good. Always gratifying to know you did at least part of it right. Alright. Slip stitch. Okay. And we are going to do one more slip stitch, but it is just to join these two together. There we go. Alright, so this is the base of our flower, and I just realized I also don't have my scissors, which I need. So, move this up here, put this in be right back mode. You guys are seeing a lot of my Take 5 folks today. Okay. I apologize for not having been nearly so prepared as I normally try to be. But I also ask that people keep in mind that I have had a lot going on in my life. Almost walked away from getting the yarn needle without grabbing my scissors, which would have necessitated me having to get up again to get those. Okay. So, let's... Pop back over to the main. So, I actually picked these up while I was house sitting because I realized that I didn't have any yarn needles with me, and I was working on yarn-based projects. So, these come with a handy carrying case, which is great. Because one of the things that happens to me a lot is I will be working on something and I will put it in my project bag, and because I do not have a proper carrying case for my yarn needles, it'll slip right out of the project bag and I will then be down a yarn needle. So since we're working with not a chunky yarn, so it's not a huge one, but a larger yarn, we're going to use this needle. It doesn't have a huge eye, but it also doesn't have a small eye. So, clip that. We'll go ahead and pull that through. Okay. So, now, we want this to be the back, but we're working with this bit of yarn right here, and this is how we're going to make our tail, or our bauble in the center, because you know most flowers have a kind of a risen center, right? So there's that. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. We want to take this and give it a nice poof of a center, okay? So here's how we're going to do that. Remember those skipped stitches early on? We're going to go through them and through these. Bump up into the skip stitch, come out over it in this open, I think the term among artists is negative space. Now through here, under, over, again, through those two, under, over, again, through these two, and under, over, again, and almost back to where we began, where we're going to go through, under, over, and pull. And now we have this nice bubbled flower. It's kind of wavy, kind of curls in a bit. And because we want to keep this similar to how it is, one thing we are going to do is we're going to take... Oops, hey, it landed on my shirt. Good. We're going to take our hook and push on that center just a bit to get it to bubble out right. We don't want it super tight. We want it to be, you know, flowery. Okay. So now we're going to put this back on the needle because, of course, I thought I was done and then I realized I wasn't. C'est la vie. And to make certain it stays, we're just going to hook a couple of these loose bits, pull it through those. Basically, we're closing it up. And again, through a couple of these. We just want to pull it tight enough it's not going to come undone without some considerable effort. And now we can use our hook's end. There are things that are called stuffers you're supposed to use specifically for like stuffing a plushie, things like that. I just tend to use the end of the hook unless I'm working with something like super delicate, because all I really want is for this to provide just enough filling and heft that stays up, but this is how our flower is going to look on that white background. And we'll use the tail, the other tail, to sew it on. So, congratulations, I just showed you how to make a flower. Okay, for right now, we've been running for an hour and a half. Admittedly, at least a half hour of that was me puttering around trying to find stuff I needed. But I think for right now, we're going to end the stream. Keep in mind that author Catherine Reynolds, also known as Goth Garden Crafts, will be doing a author Q&A later today. I'm hoping to be able to catch that. And I hope that everyone has had a great week. I hope that everyone has stayed safe, has been kind to others. I hope that you've also been kind to yourself, because sometimes that's the hardest person to be kind to. But I hope everyone has a beautiful coming week. I hope to have good news for everyone when I see them again on Thursday night. Hopefully I will be able to say, yep, I've already got a new job lined up, and I'll be starting X date, and I'll be doing the same kind of thing I'm currently doing for a higher base pay. That's ultimate goal there. But everyone be safe. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you again Thursday. Bye.